Hello YouTubers, van dwellers, travelers and the like. This is Van Ryder. I thought I'd better make a video. It's been quite a while since I made my last video. It's really amazing how time can get by you. I've had a lot of activity going on that's kind of distracted me from working on my van. But I'm back to it. I've been trying to get it smogged, and it hasn't been easy. My first mistake was I was thinking my permit was still good, and I got to looking at my permit after I'd made my smog appointment, and my permit was expired last day of January. So I had to go back down to DMV, and if you're familiar with anything about California, they got, you got to get there at 7:30 in the morning, ready for when they're opening at 8, and stand in line, and that type of thing. Otherwise, you might be there for 3 or 4 hours. Or you can make an appointment, and the appointment online is 3-4 weeks out. So I went down there and stood in line and explained to them what happened, and that the permit was expired. I just wanted another permit. And they give you a permit that's only good for 1 day. So you have 1 day to drive your rig on the road and get it smogged, and then get down to them and tell them whether it passed or failed. So I did that on 17th of last month. I went, and this rig failed to smog miserably. It wasn't even close. Of course, I did what's called the pre-test. So it's not sent into Sacramento, so your rig doesn't get labeled as a gross polluter, which becomes a major thing to get it on the road. They're really trying hard to get rid of these old vehicles. So the mechanic, it was the first time I ever met him. He told me a few things, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, things that needed to be changed. So I come home and spent a couple of days doing some research on the internet and got some ideas. Anyways, I figured out that it was probably just a temperature sensor was out on the vehicle. It's something that's pretty common on these rigs. There was a YouTuber on there, and boy, I should write these things down. I can't remember his name. Maybe I'll put his link in the bottom of this video. But he had a 350 truck with the same problem. And he basically said that, working from the cheapest parts to the more expensive parts, the temperature sensor, the O2 sensor, the map sensor, those are all things that send information to the computer telling your engine how to, well, basically this is a throttle body, so it's telling your injectors how to mix the fuel mixture, the air and fuel mixture. So anyways, I didn't mean to ramble, but it basically said the temperature sensor was 99 times out of 100 the thing that was wrong, and so I changed mine out. And 2 days later, you can see it right down there. It's a bright copper colored thing. That's the brand new one. I took it 2 days later back down to the Smog, called the guy up, asked him if we could do another pre-test. Of course, every time you do a pre-test, it costs you money, but he was pretty good about it. He didn't charge me full. First pre-test was $50, and the second one he charged me $20. And he said, although I improved my rig considerably, it was almost there. I wasn't quite there yet. The problem was that when they rev it up for so many minutes at so many RPM, and then when they let the RPM back down to idle, your exhaust has to recover to under certain levels of putting out emissions by 30 seconds or 40 seconds. I can't remember what it was, less than a minute. And although mine was recovering, it was taking 3 or 4 minutes to recover. So he said that is an indicator that possibly the catalytic converter was worn out, getting wore out. He said it was working, but sluggishly, not working very good. And I didn't want to hear that, because catalytic converters are not cheap. He also told me that I should replace my O2 sensor, which those are pretty inexpensive, 20 bucks or so. But the catalytic converters, they start at $150 for these older vehicles, and then the ones for California are even more money. But anyway, so I went ahead and bit the bullet, and I went and bought a catalytic converter. And today I cut the old one off and put this one on. I finally got it in the mail. And there's the old one. I'll show you the new one. It's already on the vehicle. It cost me just under $150. I got a discount through where I work because I work for the state. So anyways, so I did that, and I've got that on there, and I'm going to shut this video down right here just to show you, right after I show you the catalytic, the new converter, because I'll be adding to this as I do the rest of the work. I got to put the O2 sensor on. That's that right there. And I noticed that the heater, when I'm running the heater, the engine doesn't, well, the heater isn't real hot, just warm. So that's a sign that maybe the thermostat is stuck open, or they got a lower temperature thermostat. So I bought a new thermostat. I'll put that in there. And bringing the engine up to operating temperature where it's supposed to be helps with the smog too. So anyways, oh, I just want to show you something here. If you're doing your own mechanic and you haven't got any of these gear wrenches, man, you got to get some, because they really save a lot of work, especially in tight places. I'm not only having to work on this, but my son's rig, I had to replace, of all things, a catalytic converter on his rig too, and that was even more difficult because it's really tied up underneath his rig. But anyways, I'll show you this catalytic converter real quick, and then I'll stop this video and I'll add to it later. And again, I apologize for not getting the video out, but I've had company and some other things, and I finally got this rig insured. That was an issue too, because my insurance wouldn't accept monthly payments. I was late on one payment by a couple of days on my last policy, 6-month policy, and so the new one I had to start up and pay everything all up front. There's the muffler, so I've already showed you that. But there's the catalytic converter. And then the O2 sensor, I don't know if I can see it. Yeah, it's right up there. You can see it right there with the wire going to it. That's what I have to replace. I'll do that probably tomorrow afternoon and change the thermostat. But anyways, I digress, I guess. But I got the insurance straightened out, and I'm sure this will pass smog this next time around. Then I can get on to, at least the rig will be roadworthy. I'll get my tags for it. Then I gotta check on the brakes and whatnot. So anyways, thanks for viewing, and I'll just stop here and add to this video later. Okay, so it's the last week of April. I just wanted to quick let you know what happened the previous week. On Monday I went down for my final smog on this van, and I passed with flying colors. That was a relief. The actual smog certificate, the final, the one that was sent off to the Sacramento DMV, cost me $103 when it was all ended. So, boy, things are expensive, aren't they? I spent $70 on pre-checks, and then $103. So, $175 roughly for getting this puppy smogged. And then, of course, that was on Monday of last week, and then Thursday morning I went down early and stood in line to get in the DMV early, and I finished my paperwork, and so I was finally able to get my license tag. So there it is. So I'm good, and finally have the title all done. So I'm waiting for the pink slip to come in the mail. So that's where I'm at. That's kind of been consuming what little time I had to work on this van. Now I'm going to get started with other things. I'm going to move on to checking the brakes. And I know they're good, but I want to look at them physically, take them apart. And just thought I'd show you the inside real quick. I haven't done much other than just clean it up. But I'm anxious to get started on the interior. So mechanically it's running real good. I put about maybe 50-60 miles on it. I've had it up to 70 miles an hour, and it just goes down the road really nice. So my wife and I are getting anxious to take our first trip in it, so hopefully that will happen soon. So I want to thank you again for watching, and again I want to mention on this channel, the main reason I started this channel was to document this experience of bringing this thing up, and start to documenting some of the travel, the trips we make in it, but also all the various people who have channels about van or RV traveling or dwelling that have inspired me, and I've put them, I've liked them, and they're on my playlist, and each one has a specific reason for being there. For example, one of the latest ones I put on there was Happily But Houseless. I really enjoy his videos, and he shows how he's taken all the decals off, and he shows how that process goes, and that's something I went ahead and saved that, because that's something I'm going to do to this eventually. And then there's another channel on there. Boy, my memory's slipping. They have a large RV, but anyways, I'll think of it in a minute when it doesn't count. Anyways, I've saved some of their videos to be on my channel, so you can view them too. And they're going through Utah, Zion National Park, and those places, and those are some of the places that I want to go, and that's why they're on there. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next month with some more updates. Hopefully I can get something accomplished more than what I did for the last 2 months. And again, I'd like to thank all subscribers and thank all those out there making videos on this particular subject, the van community.